Welcome to the PBAL draft analysis. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't already record this, because I did. But I saw some people in the league do their own thing and kind of bash the commissioners, because the commissioners were pretty rough, I guess. That's what the community is saying. That's what the community is saying. So I decided, why not clap back? Clap back and tell them why my team is not the worst in the league. We gotta clap back for the community. I ain't one to instigate anything, but I'm an instigator. But I'm not really like that though. So first pick, we had to go with the good old Blaziken. Like I said, we're doing our first ever full in-depth draft analysis. Why we picked these mons, why we picked this mon first, why we picked this mon last, why this mon is even on the team, and we'll explain it all for you today. Could this be an hour-long video? I hope it is. You better watch every single second of it. Put that shit in 2x speed. Lock in. Blaziken. Now, one thing about this mon, we actually got it for 16 points, and it is allowed to have speed boost. My bad. But it gets speed boost. We can't tear with it, of course. But this mon, the reason why I picked it up is because I've never used it before, and also I feel like Blaziken used in the right hands can actually put in a decent amount of work. And one thing I like to do is I like to run a lot of setup. I like going for gay. You know what I'm saying? Go for the crazy strat. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10 it is going to work, because 9 times out of 10 the people don't know what it is, what I'm even pulling off. This one overall, really good in my opinion. It does have, one thing I'll say about this team in my opinion is it is really weak to priority, like hardcore. Like a lot of these mons are just, when it comes down to it, it's just like they just die to priority 9 times out of 10. But in my opinion, Blaziken I feel like was a really good first round pick, especially with the mons that were left for me being a low bottom, like number 14, 15, something like that, 13. Being able to just kind of just run choice band, and just click buttons like choice band, CC, and then get speed boost over, and it can put in work. Bulk upsets are nice. Bulk upsets with berries can actually come in clutch. Swords dance sets, especially with like a mental herb set. I think I saw that from what's his name, Pokebaldi. Shout out Pokebaldi. I think I saw him use that in a playoff game. But overall, in my opinion, this mon just gets really good access to good moves. If we really wanted to, we could kind of bring more of a utility wise, or just to claim a life with focus dash counter. That's another way to do it. Most of the time we're probably just going to be bringing this thing just to click buttons and die. That's basically what Blaziken does. Its best moves, Brave Bird, Flare Blitz. Me personally, the occasional Blaze Kick isn't bad, with a high crit ratio and 10% chance to burn. A pretty good move. Overall, this Pokemon is really just a one-trick pony. Nothing really special about it. I think it was a good first pick, and being only 16 points on the board compared to other leagues where it's either 20 points plus or banned, I thought it was just a steal, and we might as well just try it out. The next mon, I just thought it really paired well with Blaziken, with its typing, and it's Charlatan. One thing that I really like about this mon is my favorite thing. It is a really good utility mon, and it has that good old speed of base 85. One reason why I like this mon is because I used to use Duraludon a lot back in the draft league, and that base 85 speed is just so nice for Choice Scarf. Yes, there'll be times I'll probably be bringing Choice Scarf, and yeah. I do want to run Choice Scarf with Charlatan. I think it's a really good bring in some matchups. A A lot of people like to run this thing as more of a defensive set of things. I think of this thing as more of an offensive mon, in my opinion, being given the fact that you can just run specs, Dracos, or even just run Scarf and just drop Dracos on things, not even knowing what's about to happen. They don't even know that you outspeed and you just drop a Draco on them, or hitting off nasty flash cannons and stuff like that, in my opinion. Obviously, this mon is really good for bulk-wise. Stealth Rock and Dragon Tail, T-Wave. And to the commissioners. Why would I understand running Rain, picking up a Pokemon for Rain is good for this team, but for the way that I'm building it, I see there's no point to have Rain on a team with Blaziken, because then at that point, if I'm having Rain, I might as well just drop Blaziken, and then at that point, there's no point to even pick it up, because then there's not even any good fire types left on the draft board, because they've all been drafted. That's just my opinion, though. This team, yes, would it be nice with Rain, Electroshock, and obviously the next mon I'll be showing is Araquanid. But yeah, Araquanid, Terra Water, Bubble. I already know the damage. It does 70% to a fucking max defense Blastoise. We know. But, understand this, like I said, Rain, yes, it would be good in this team, but with Blaziken on it, there would just be no point to even have a fire type. And dropping Blaziken, I feel like, is just not good for the team. So yeah. Back to this though. Stamina, really, really good ability. I will never run any other ability but Stamina. Another thing that we can do with this mon is, we did draft Indeedee, so we can even go Psychic Seed our Chaladon, and kind of just try to, that +1 Spadef. Basically, you get a free Assault Vest, but then you can also just kind of click buttons and stuff like that, like Iron Defense. I can Iron Defense sub up instead of front of something. What are some other moves this thing gets? Heavy Slam is really nice. This thing does get Miracle. Solar Beam for those bulky water types that want to switch in if they do have an on a sun team. If they have something like maybe like a Wake or something like that, hitting with that. But at that point, I'm just clicking Draco Meteor. Overall, like I said, I think defensively this mon was a really good pickup for Blaziken. I think they complement each other really well, just having some common resistance with each other. My Chaladon's weak to things like fighting. I mean, Blaziken doesn't really switch in well to that, but a lot of things that Blaziken's weak to, like water, our Chaladon switches into that. Flying, our Chaladon switches into that. Psychic, our Chaladon switches into that. It just has a lot of good resistances for our Chaladon to switch in, and we can even run like things like Eject Pack with Draco Meteor, drop a Draco, and just give off a free switch in for whatever we want. So overall, I think this mon's a good utility mon, and not only a good utility mon, but a good offensive mon for the team. Next, like I already said, we picked up Araquanid round 3. I really wanted my good bulky water, but I also wanted webs in quotation mark, because 9 times out of 10 with this mon being a Terra, I'm probably not running webs. Unless I literally see a matchup, like you'll see my speed tiers, I'm not even worried about bringing webs in this team. I strictly drafted this mod just to use it for Terra, just so I could deal out massive damage, because a lot of people when they see Araquanid, they're going to be like, oh, sticky web, and then they prep for sticky web prep, but then they're just going to get like Terra Water, Water Bubble. Damage output on that is absurd. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Like I said, this mon's a really good Assault Vest mon. Being able to Terra into any type, by the way. So Terra Fairy is always going to be nice on something like Araquanid, in my opinion. Being able to stand in front of those bulky, a lot of those special Dragon types and Dark types that are in this gen. Its defense isn't the greatest. It's kind of abysmal, but its special defense and its ability to Water Bubble kind of just shine out for it. Honestly, like, this is a really good counter mon to Wake. Losing Water Bubble does suck on this mon, but at that point, I'd probably be running a special Araquanid just because I don't want to get this and get burned and then just be kind of useless. So it just kind of gives me that ability just to kind of just run things like Mirror Coat, because it does get access to Mirror Coat and Hydro Pump, which are 2 really good moves in my opinion. Another thing I gotta say, that, like I said, that we get is Sticky Web. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not bringing it unless I really fear my Spirit Tears, which I don't. it does to get Trailblaze. I did not know this mod gets Trailblaze. So, I mean, boosting up that 42 speed, base speed, isn't going to do much. This thing also gets Blizzard, so overall, it's going to be a fun mod to use as a Terra cap, being able to launch off some Terra water bubbles, because water bubble also makes it so you can't get burned. And then also Terra Fairy with water absorb kind of just counters Wake and Sun Team, so I think overall this mod's going to be really good for utility wise, and like I said, offensive wise, same with our Chaladon. I think they complement each other really well, these three. A lot of things that Araquanid is weak to, like rock and stuff like that, our Chaladon switches into. So next we ended up drafting, I was like, I do want electric type. I need to flying resist, because flying technically is really fucked up on my part, and my speed tiers. I didn't really like the way my speed tiers are looking, so picked up Thunders there and here. Never used this mon. Always want to do this mon because, in my opinion, it is such a threat in a lot of matchups. Being able to be Volt Absorb, this thing has like 2 weaknesses, being Rock and Ice. But being able to have that Volt Absorb so it doesn't get that neutral electric moves coming off on it is really nice, in my opinion, having that. And getting electric type that also isn't weak to ground is always nice, having that ground resist. Not that ground resist, but that immunity. Since Blaziken and our Chaladon share the same resisting ground, even though Araquanid resists the ground. I thought it was just better to get this. Base 101 speed, not the greatest, still basically kind of a base 100 speed. Base 145 special attack and base 105 attack. This thing can be used for a couple of things. Maybe, oh, look at that, Rain Dance. I could run Rain Dance on this thing. I never will, because I'm not going to give in to the commissioners here. Rain will not be used on this team. You will never see Rain on this team. The only way I ever get Rain on this team is if the opponent sets it up for me, and then I'll be thanking them. We are starting beef with the commissioners. That is what we plan to do today. A civil war, they might call it. Utility wise, I like this mon a lot. You can run some bulky sets for say, in a way. So yeah, like I said, this thing gets really good utility wise. Good coverage moves in my opinion. Sledge Bomb for some of those fairies to kind of catch them off guard. Knock off to kind of get rid of some abilities. Some items. Good setup moves with Nasty Plot. I don't know if it does get bulk up, and also it does get agility. So overall, I think this mon, like I said, gets really good utility moves. It's another taunt user. It's a good pivot mon, a fast pivot. Wind Bolt Strike, really good move. I wish this thing got Hurricane. That's the only sucky part that really sucks about Thunders, is it doesn't get Hurricane. And in my opinion, it doesn't have any flying moves. So that's the only downside of it. That really sucks. But overall, I think speed tier wise and utility wise, and it's just special offensive pressure, just kind of puts a lot of pressure onto things, being a good Scarf Mon, a good Life Orb Mon, and just having the fact that it can just set up with a Nasty Plot and be a focus set, and then just kind of kill something. So I think it brought a lot of use to the team. Like I said, I was still tweaking about my speed tiers, and I was like, you want to know what? I don't know why this thing is still on the board, so I picked it up. We ended up picking up Dio Speed. This mon, offensively wise, it can be used really good with Life Orb Psycho Boost sets, but like I said, in my opinion, my team just kind of gets fucked over by priority. Like Sucker Punch just basically fucks this thing over. Ice Shard just fucks over Thunderous. Things like that. Just like in my opinion, priority is just kind of a big thing. That's kind of why, like in the long run, that's why I drafted Ndidi, is gets rid of priority. So I don't have to really worry about that and shit like that. I like this mon for one thing only. Our Chaladon was really my only hazard setter, and I guess Araquanid technically, even though it will never set up hazards, and I'm going to keep saying that. Bring a Focus Sash set, or even with Spikes, is always really nice. This thing gets really good Spikes, Stealth Rocks. Spikes in general is always really nice to get up. We could, like I said, bring offensive sets. This thing gets good utility with knockoff. This thing also gets meteor beam, which I did not know. But yeah, we could trick things out on Pokemon. Like say we play up against a Gliscor lead. We just click trick, maybe catch the trick and get rid of the Toxic Orb. Taunt for things that want to lead. Say they're trying to set up sticky webs on me. Taunt them, can't do anything. Sash set looks really good for this team. Being able to get up with some hazards, click a move, and die. I really like that. We could easily just also bring Sash sets with Miracle. I don't know if this thing gets counter. It does get counter, so we could do that if we also really wanted to. I don't think we'll ever click Nasty Plot, but maybe on an off day when I'm kind of not feeling the greatest, I'm feeling kind of risky, hoping for a big bang, I might just put Nasty Plot on that thing and click it and see if we get lucky, Overall, I'm actually excited to use this mon. I have the Axis Attack in the other draft league that the commissioner is running, so I'm excited to see this mon in action, but not as an attacker, but just to set up a hazards and kind of push forward progress that this team, in my opinion, also kind of needed, was a way to kind of force progress. So next, I saw this mon and I was like, dude, I still need a ground type and I still need a dark type. And I was like, I don't even know how it's still on the board right now, so I picked up Crocodile here. Gives me a really good, gives me another electric immunity, gives me a psychic immunity. Also a really, really, in my opinion, a good rock setter, having Stealth Rock and Taunt, and also a really good utility mon having Knockoff and things. I think it also gets Dragon Tail, which is actually kind of crazy. Another thing I like about this mon, we can run Moxie Scale Shot, and we could even run Choice Scarf Moxie. Choice Scarf Moxie. If they have no ground immunities, no ground situations, we can just spam Earthquake. And so just kind of claim lives. And then things like Loaded Dice Scale Shot is also another way. We can kind of claim wins and shit like that, boosting its speed. It does get some decent coverage moves coming with Gunk Shot for some of these bulky fairies. I didn't even know it gets Sludge Bomb. But yeah, Throat Chop for potential Sylveons if we're put in that position where we're just like, well, if it's Moonblast or Hyper Voice, click Throat Chop. And if it's Hyper Voice, we might shut down just a basic Wish Protect Sylveon Calm Mind. Power Trip is also a really good move in my opinion. Just for the way it works. And yeah. Other than that, there's not really much else this thing really gets. Snarl is really nice just in case there's any special attackers, but I really also just like this thing, like I said, as a stealth rocking lead, intimidate, kind of click buttons, kind of deal some damage off, get some chip. This thing I did not know it gets Aqua Tail, so it also gets a good water coverage move, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I thought it overall kind of brought some good bulk for the team. We did have, I'm pretty sure ground is resist rock, so it also kind of brought in that. Next pick, I still needed a fairy type, and I needed a fairy / ground of poison, so we actually picked it up Weezing Galar, which gives me also my first way of removing hazards, which later you'll see we can also remove our hazards Regieleki. Defog, I don't really like Defog as much. Defog is not as spread around as it was, and also I just don't like bringing it just because it is then if there's points where it's like matchups you can't even bring Defog because of a Defiant Pokemon, and you don't want to take that risk of boosting them. Overall, this mon is good. Personally, I like the regular Weezing more. The Fairing typing is nice. Having a move that has a 20% chance of confusion is also really nice, trying to get those RNG wins, you know me. Always like to cheat my way to win. Only way to do it. This thing also gets Toxic Spikes, gets Will-O-Wisp, which is really nice, having a base defense of 120. Thought overall it was actually a really good mon. bringing Misty Surge could be fun just for the trolls, doing Misty Surge, Misty Explosion. And neutralizing gas is also just can kind of come in clutch, because then it makes me a grounded poison for any toxic spikes that could potentially get set up against me. So I think it's a really good bring in some sort of sets with neutralizing gas being able to... Actually, it really could it not? If it was... Yeah, because it could really... It actually could, yeah. You could straight up wall this thing with... Glamora, in my opinion. Being able to be neutralizing gas, so corrosion won't even affect you, so you can't get poisoned. And if toxic debris, it can't do anything. So, overall, good bulk for the team. Like I said, gives me a ground of poison, gives me another ground immunity. Because even if I'm... Well, no. They'll know instantly whether or not. But, yeah. And then next we have the Indeedee, which Indeedee is also really nice because we get male and female, so we get to use both, and both are really nice. I like Choice Scarf Indeedee, which is always really nice. Heck, I said being able to hit the Psychic Surge is just... It's just nice. Getting rid of priority. Priority is just so annoying in my opinion. It can be a really annoying thing to deal with, just with the fact that you would be faster or something and they just click Ice Shard and then kill you. I just think priority can be sometimes really annoying to deal with. So Psychic Surge and DD can literally bring choice specs on this thing, and then run Expanding Force and just do massive amount of damage. It has a really good base speed with 95 as the male and 85 for the female. So still two really good Scarf Pokemon in my opinion. Being able to do massive damage in Psychic Surge. I think only this one gets a Luring Voice. This one can also get a Luring Voice? No, it doesn't. So this one does get a Luring Voice. And this thing can also just be a mon that I literally just run Psychic Surge, Psychic Seed, get my Spadef boost, and then go like Stored Power, Calm Mind, like something else, you know what I mean, and just kind of go crazy with this mon. Also a good Trick Room setter for things like Araquanid if we really wanted to, and Dusknoir as a mon I drafted, and Sunflora as another mon I drafted. So Trick Room set could be fun, could be nice, could work wonders, could not. Overall, I think this mon is really good for the offensive pressure, just because it has only one weakness, which is Dark and Bug. That's it, because it has a Ghost immunity, so it also gives you my good Ghost immunity. So yeah. Next pick, which is our next Terra Cap, is Dusknoir. Now I kind of just picked this mon because I wanted a normal immunity and I also wanted a Ghost type for a good spin blocker. And I kind of felt like this was a decent spin blocker with what we had left on the board. There really wasn't many good Ghost types that I saw left on the board. Like, I didn't really want to use Sinistcha. I'm pretty sure it was already taken. Mimikyu was taken before I could get it. That was actually going to be my Terra Cap, one of them, if I got it. Yeah, but I didn't really like any other Terra Caps, any other Ghost types in my opinion, so having Frisk is also really nice, so we can see what kind of items they have rocking on them. But running leftovers on this thing does get Pain Split, which I kind of find it crazy. It does not get Drain Punch, which is wild. But it has a base defense of 135, base special defense of 135, so we can bring especially bulky, defensively bulky, and just kind of wall things with Rocky Helmet and stuff. It does get Taunt, it does get Trick Room itself. It gets Will-O-Wisp for some of those physical attackers. It does get Shadow Sneak, so if we want to deal some damage we can. Choice Band Poltergeist, Terra Ghost Poltergeist does not look bad on this Pokemon whatsoever with having a base 100 attack. So this thing could really do damage in Trick Room with just Choice Band Poltergeist going crazy. Could even run Custab Destiny Bond. That can be another thing that's really fun. Would it not be? But yeah. So with the next mon, like I said, we drafted the 2 fastest Pokemon in the draft league, which is Regieleki next. I kind of wanted another electric type on this team just because I kind of just wanted just a pure electric type. A lot of things I'll probably run on this thing is heavy duty boots and just be able to run Rapid Spin. Rapid Spin is a good has removal. I like Rapid Spin a lot more in this gen, so I kind of figured why not getting a spinner as well. Set up a light screen, set up a reflect, and being a base 200 speed, it outspeeds base 100 Scarf Mons. So does Deoxys speed also outspeeds base 100 Scarf Mons. Being able to just click Volt Switch when they do not have any ground switch-ins is just so nice. With its ability being the shit, I ain't even gonna try to say it because I'm not gonna clone myself. I'll be real. Too cooked for that right now. But getting that 1.3 boost to the electric move, Volt Switch, having no switch-ins to that, just dealing massive damage is always just really nice. We could run Normal Gen Explosion if we ever really wanted to, just to be weird. Thunderous Cage is also a really fun move if we're trying to run some like Thunderous Cage, Protect, Stall if we wanted to be weird. That's if. But yeah. And this thing also gets Magnet Rise, so we can also like kind of trick up some of these ground types if you really want to. And last but not least, our final Terra Captain, Sunflora. Now, this mon, I actually like it a lot. And if we really wanted to, I'm pretty sure Thunders gets Sunny Day, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it literally gets Sunny Day. I will bring Sun on this team, though. So if we really wanted to, I know base 3 speed isn't really that good, so Chlorophyll, I could make it like a base 60. This thing does have a good base 105 special attack, which is actually kind of crazy. So like I said, we could run this thing in Trick Room if we really wanted to. Like imagine if I just said fuck it. I did Heat Rock, went into fucking Sunflora on a Trick Room, and then just started clicking buttons on Solar Power. That'd be some Life Orb, Solar Power, Solar Beams coming from fucking Sunflora. Who knows, maybe we'll set that up sometime if we're doing crazy. This mon's decent. It actually does get recovery with Synthesis and Morning Sun. Like I said, we can run Chlorophyll, and this thing does get Trailblaze to boost the speed, so +1 in the Chlorophyll could go crazy. Having Weather Ball, which is really, really nice in my opinion, being able we can just rock Terrifier if we want to. It does actually get a Fairy move, which I actually find pretty crazy, and a good ground move with Earth Power. Even though Terra Blast Ground is nice, in my opinion, having Earth Power is also really nice just because getting that Spadef drop could always be really clutch. Has good grass moves. Its special defense is alright. Its defense is abysmal. Like, this thing isn't going to do much. I guess it does get Encore, so we could use it for some Encore and then do Leech Seed sets. So, overall, I think this could be a fun mon to use. Will we probably bring it? Maybe, it depends. But overall, if I'm being real, I think the commissioners were just delusional. Maybe they're having a bad day, you know, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, bro. Their toothbrush was like in the sink for some reason. I don't know, like I think the commissioners forgot their cup of coffee that day. They just weren't in the right mind. I would probably rate my team like genuinely like a C+. This isn't the best team I've ever drafted, I'll be real. But overall, I think it can actually put in work against some of the other teams that are definitely in the league. Might be a little wonky on the speed tiers and stuff like that, but I'm definitely going to put some work in with this team. I know I can. So, I'll see y'all for week 1 for week 1 matchup against Gentleman Thomas. That's going to be a movie. I'll see y'all then.